All right, so 120 for 5. The lead is 166 at this point in time. England already came with a lead of 46, extended by 120 runs, but they have also lost 5 wickets. Ashwin, right at the top, 3 wickets, showed glimpses of his old self, especially the celebration that he had when he dismissed Joe Root. That. Kuldeep Yadav, 2 wickets, once again coming into his own, getting rid of Stokes. Ben Stokes,
but
the
stroke delivery of the one was Crawley.
Crawley, yes. That's what, got India back into this session, I would say. Otherwise, if Crawley, the way that it was going, India were looking at, all sorts of trouble otherwise. With just 3 wickets down is what they were at that point. If you needed Crawley's wicket because he got to his 71 balls, that tells you at the strike rate at which he was operating, and he was looking comfortable. Let's be honest about that. It was that Crawley wicket that then opened the gates for India, and then you got that wicket of Ben Stokes as well. Another big wicket, but still one would say the third last recognized pair, Sardar.
I mean, look, Tom Hartley, Ollie Robinson showed that he is a decent bat, but I'm not reading too much into his county statistics and everything. See, India didn't bowl well. They had the flatter of the conditions on day 1, and that's allowed Robinson. But on this particular kind of situation, it will be a test of Robinson's batting credentials.
It's a test of anyone's batting credentials, because again, if you go through all 5 dismissals, there's not one where you could say where England played a stupid shot. It was all purely good bowling.
Yeah.
Whether it be Ashwin getting rid of Duckett and Pope, then Root. The ball that got rid of Crawley was an absolute beauty, and Ben Stokes can consider himself unlucky once again getting the short end of the stick when it comes to low bounce. But otherwise, you see, I think it'll really depend on what sort of approach you want to take. But I think now wouldn't be the worst time in the world to go full baseball, because everything I've seen so far, there is that one ball which does tend to have your name on it.
Yep.
Very much, I won't say it's a lottery of playing conditions here, but it's definitely the trickiest batting conditions we've seen up until this point in the test match, and it's only day 3.
Because Ben Stokes were all squared up over there. He just didn't have any idea where the ball was headed. But I want to spend some time talking about Joe Root dismissal, gents. That looked something to me, and even though yes, the decision's gone in India's favor, it didn't look like a decision that I thought to begin with. Yes, the DRS projection at least took me by surprise, but if I look at the replays, I look at the turn, I think there is an element of doubt that I still have with regards to technology, with regards to the decision, and yeah, that was a lucky break if you ask me for it.
Not just that, I'll add one more. That was when Jadeja thought he had Ben Stokes trapped LBW. I looked at that, and again, naked eye, I'm like, the amount that ball was turning, there's no way it's hitting the stumps, and it was clipping. Okay, I don't know what math is used to make those projections, but it's been very tricky.
See, I think the equation
feels otherwise. I think about the Root dismissal.
See, the equation, I'll come to the Jadeja thing first, because I thought it would be spinning down the leg side.
Same.
Everyone thought
but it was clipping. Now, I think the equation is depending upon the average spin that has been generated on this wicket, which is not that much. The average spin that you're seeing on this wicket is not that high. So, basing upon that, I think the projection is on those lines. So, it was clipping. But again, remember, if it was out, the decision would have gone in India's favor.
Actually, having seen that dismissal of Joe Root, I wouldn't have been too surprised if this too had gone in India's favor, because given how much the ball had straightened in Root's case, this didn't require as much, let's say, turn.
I mean, I'll just tell you about the Ashwin thing, okay? Looking at it, pitching, numerous replays, I saw it over and over again. It did pitch on the leg stump line, okay?
Yes.
50%, okay? 50% of it, more than 50% of it was pitching in line, okay? But again, look at the turn. It wasn't that much of turn. The turn that Ashwin got was not prodigious. It just straightened a bit.
It straightened according to projection, but again, based on how the ball went
yeah.
on impact, it looked like there was enough off spin. It looked like a traditional off break, but with less spin.
Look at the length though.
Even then, I thought it would be clipping at best. And it wasn't clipping, it was cutting onto the stump. So
because I felt what happens is, if it was clipping, then I think the length would have been shorter. The length, if you look at it, was fuller. So it didn't have,
straightened much.
It straightened that much. and it didn't have time to go further down. It hit the stump. The length was slightly fuller. Wherever you've seen all these kind of dismissals, the bold, the LBW and all that, it's coming from a good length. This was one of the rare deliveries that pitched fuller in length and it straightened. Root tried to whip it through the mid-wicket region, but he missed it because of the length. It just straightened a tad. It came in and straightened. So that is why I feel that, okay, the right decision was made. But Jurel, let me tell you, I mean, as a wicket keeper, his responsibility is now increasing a lot more because there's going to be a lot of DRS close calls.
To be fair, the Johnny Bairstow, the Ben Stokes one, the one which went down leg, he clearly was saying it's going down leg. He was very, very assertive, and I think I remember that Rohit went till the last second of the countdown to take the review, and he himself wasn't very convinced.
But so next after that, they didn't review.
That I was a little surprised by.
And he missed the stumping today. He missed the stumping in this innings, and that's why as the game progresses, you are now into the final session of day 3, and as we have always mentioned, day 3 is the moving day of a test match. In particular in Ranchi, it's going to be a moving day of the series, because anybody who say if England get about 80-100 runs in this session, next session that's coming, 80-100 meaning you are having a lead of 250 plus, and chasing, I'm sorry, 250, 260 plus will not be easy.
Already on this pitch, it looks like, if you settle in, play a little counter-attacking at times, you get runs. But that one ball does tend to have your name on it. Fourth innings is going to be much tougher. I think if I'm India, I look to be getting them out under 200, 250.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way I envision it being a relatively comfortable, albeit slightly tricky chase.
Yeah, it will be a very tricky chase, come whatever may. I mean, look, there is a reason in India why you have not chased over 200 plus for a decade. Because you're in the fourth innings, your pitches deteriorate much quicker, and there is the scoreboard pressure. Let us be very, very adamant about it. And again, if you look at all the DRS calls that are going, even see, I think the Pope one was umpire's call.
The Pope one I still was okay with, because that looked like it was hitting the stumps. It was very plumb. It was very, very plumb. I was surprised it wasn't given out originally. Or was given out. He was given out. Yeah. So with the Pope one, I looked at it and I'm like, that is a goner, because he was very plumb. Even with Root, okay, it was close. Ironically, the man calling for the removal of the umpire's call, Ben Stokes, himself survived one thanks in no small part to an umpire's call.
And I will tell you that there is a very interesting debate, because see, it's coming about this whole umpires thing controversy and everything that's happening. See, I'll be doing a special video as to how many umpires called dismissals happened in the first, second and the third test, and how many of it was out, how many of it was not out. Now see, benefit of the team, we are not looking, let's not get into that, because see, an umpire's call is, if it's not out, it remains not out. If it's out, it remains out. That is the umpire's call thing. Umpire's call, we are all debating upon the fact that upon impact and pitching, that is the only reason why you should have an umpire's call. But hitting, I do agree, you need that because of the equation, the projection that is there. So the umpire can't see it. Okay, maybe it might happen. Technology will only prove that it's happening. So Stokes made this comment, has opened up an entire Pandora's box. And remember, it was not Stokes who first raised the issue of umpire's call. 3 years earlier, it was Virat Kohli.
Yes, and I remember this explainer that Nasser Hussain had done, and it's going viral again.
Yeah.
If we can show it here as well, because he very, very tactfully sort of explains how, your 2% margin, if you were to draw a cross, let's say over here, a 2% margin could actually make the ball hit the stump here or here. If it's just clipping, at times you see the bill doesn't even move that way. So, and that way, a 2% thing would mean that there's bigger area, let's say, then for the ball to hit the stump. That changes the whole equation, and it's not 100% technology, which is why you need umpire's call, you need that element of doubt, and that's where you need the umpires. Let's say there has to be somebody human, let's say, to be calling these instances where that the technology also has a margin of error. How do you replicate that, or how do you make up for that technology, that deficit in technology? By trusting human intelligence.
And the only way you can do away with umpire's call is if you have a technology that is 100%, that which is come what may going to be making the right projections on every single ball every single time. Do you have that technology? Nah, you don't.
You don't have it. And see, the problem is, you are raising questions on the integrity of an umpire and also of the technology. See, it's not an easy job. I mean, let us be very, very honest about it. It's not an easy job.
Even then, that particular instance, Siddharth, which you just referred to, where India could have, let's say, taken that DRS call and then Stokes would have been out because it was pad first and not bat. Again, given the speeds at which these guys bowl and the kind of cricket that's played, it's difficult, it's rather impossible at times to be able to judge these things through the naked eye.
Yeah,
it's just not possible in real time to be able to do those things.
That is the problem, and that is why, see, whatever decisions happen, take it on the chin and move on. I mean, then India and England are in the same way. What you look at it, they are also accused of winging, if you look at it. England lead that. India also are following that path sometimes. I mean, come on. It's happened. I mean, many people are saying, oh, the root thing should be umpire's call on pitching. But more than 50%, even to the naked eye, was pitching in line.
It didn't look like the pitching really wasn't much of an issue for me. And truth be told, I'm not a big fan of umpire's call for pitching and impact anyway. It needs to be for cutting into the stumps, and that is the extent of it. That is the only time umpire's call needs to come into play. Having said that, at that point in time, there is a crucial it's a crucial juncture where it's needed, because again, you don't have a foolproof technology.
Yep, you can't. So that's why I see there will be a lot of people who are going to say, oh, that's the issue.
Michael Vaughan is one of them. In fact, if we cut to this particular event, he's trying to make a point here.
Yeah, the center of the ball was outside under the one pitching zone. The center of the ball was outside and the leg side of pitching zone. I mean, look. When a decision doesn't go against England, they cry about it. When a decision doesn't go in favor of India, they cry about it. Get over it. Technology, we all are aware that it is not foolproof. No technology can be 100%. Especially cricket. You are using a bouncing technology here, which is for the first time used in any form of sport. I mean, you had Hawkeye and everything, but Hawkeye for tennis is a projection. The ball doesn't bounce. You are hitting it in the air when that happens. Baseball, it's used for, the ball never bounces in baseball.
No, but in tennis it does bounce.
No, when you are checking for what? For the ball that goes out, isn't it? Those small calls, you're not judging whether it will bounce and then you're looking at the
ball. Yeah, you know it's bounced.
It's an interesting example how, let's say pitching and impact works the same way as in tennis when you're trying to see whether the ball, or let's say in badminton, whether the ball, or the shuttle, in that case, whether it crossed the line or whether in or out. Because you know where it's landing, and with the given cameras and the technology at hand, you know where it is. So it's that at least is 100% there. There shouldn't be any doubt about it.
Yep. So see, people who have called for the scrapping of the umpire's call, they have managed to get away with it. Stokes, he called for the scrapping of the umpires, but he himself survived. Different story.
And Bashir had 3 umpires calls not go his way.
4, I think.
Or go his way, yeah.
4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And on top of that, that's another story, he fell without adding to his tally. That's another thing altogether. But see, this pitch at this point in time, now let's focus on the pitch. I think the players are going to come out in the next 4 minutes or so to get ready.
We can answer a couple of quick questions.
Yeah, we will. But at this time, what do you think? Still advantage England, or do you think India still are somehow clawing?
No, it's balanced right now.
It's balanced.
I mean, see, England are one good partnership away from getting a big lead. Similarly, India are a couple of scabs away from getting, let's say, good inroads and potentially ensuring that the target they have is an easier one to chase. So again, right now, I think it's very much a game in the balance. No team would be happy. I think India would be slightly happier given they've gotten 5 wickets already.
But Shayan Banerjee adds, if India are not batting again today, then they are losing the game.
I mean, if it goes into day 4 and you're starting to bat on day 4, then I do tend to agree with him. You're not losing, but you're not getting yourself in a good position at all.
Yeah.
You have to be batting towards the end of the day. Simple as that. In fact, you can't allow England to be batting more than, let's say, about 80 minutes today. Because that also would mean that England would have scored another 45-50 odd runs in those 80 minutes as well. And that will then take their lead past the 200 mark. There'll be 215 in that case.
Yeah, if they make the similar number of runs and then they get bowled out, 120 more, meaning...
No, 120 more, Siddharth, then...
Yeah, I mean, see, the way how they're batting, now you've got 2 more established...
But that was 5 of their best batters.
Now...
Actually, but again, here's the thing. Johnny Bairstow has a weird tendency of getting good knocks when he's about to be dropped. Ben Foakes, I will forever maintain, is a criminally underrated bat.
Yeah.
So it's
Hartley
not like
can hang in.
Hartley can more than hang in. He can get you 20-30 quick runs.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't have batting, and India's inability to wind up a tail does worry me. So you need quick inroads.
You have to. See, Hartley, Robinson, you have to get rid of them as quickly as you can, because if they have that same partnership like they had in the first innings, from 112 for 5, they went to 353. That will haunt India if that happens.
And see, I don't think they'll get to 353 because again, very different batting conditions now. But if they get even a lead of 270 to 80, man, it's
panic station.
Oh yeah.
Anything above 250, then you're giving England about a 85% chance of winning.
At least a 70% chance, 70 to 80%.
85.
Because the pitches will deteriorate. Already, I see some balls are turning prodigiously.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. So that is why, well, by the way, when Ashwin got his third wicket, he had surpassed Anil Kumble with the most wickets in India, 352.
ooh.
And Kumble, out of his 619, has 350 wickets in India. And Ashwin, out of his 503, he's got 352 in India.
Right.
Yes, it does again signify the fact that yes, Ash is a India legend.
Yeah, definitely
But
a legend at
Sena
home.
countries-
Indomitable at home.
Yeah, indomitable at home. Away can be a little hit or miss, but that takes nothing away.
Yeah, especially in the Sena countries, not the Sena, that is the W, West Indies. He does well in the West Indies. But in South Africa, England, New Zealand, and
South
Australia,
Africa particularly.
and New Zealand, he's never done well there. England, he's had some limited success, but,
But then has also been the victim of that because he tends to get dropped.
that's the problem.
Loud
That's the
cover.
problem. Rookie Techie, if India gets Bairstow soon, then it is India's match to lose, considering tail to come with no Rehan, who can be a better bat than Ollie Robinson against the turning ball.
Good point.
Good point, but remember, Ollie Robinson hit a 50.
Exactly, not a well-timed comment, I would
Yeah,
say.
even exactly. I know we were. It's fun to take pot shots at Ollie, and I've done a shot taking a pot shot at him. But the fact is, he did bat well in the last innings, and his 50 added runs that you didn't think you'd be conceding.
Exactly, 100-run partnership for the 8th wicket. Remember that, and Johnny is just 26 runs away from 6,000 runs.
This
Whoa.
guy's test career baffles me.
I know.
It really baffles me. Someone who can blow so hot and cold, 6,000 test runs, on the
100
cusp of
tests.
getting
On the
100
cusp
tests.
of a 100 test cap, yeah.
And having made his debut later than Ashwin, and he's
He's
gone.
on!
Oh, we had the first ball last session. Best of God.
Well, that's it. Now I think we can.
Now this is India's opportunity to just get a
Seriously.
stranglehold, and then you got to now get it out of the tail. Danger man Bairstow really could have taken the attack
Yeah.
and can be aggressive. In fact, he was batting with a decent strike rate as well. This has to be now India's moment.
This is the turning
in the
point.
Test match.
This is a potential turning
where
point.
you kill it.
Like exactly, Jadeja's first wicket. So your entire spin trio have contributed now.
Oh yeah.
Kuldeep with 2, Ash with 3, and now
Oh, that was
that
fun,
hit the
yeah.
crack.
That was some turn.
And there is an unconventional silly point, because you look at the guy, he's wearing a
This is
helmet.
a short cover or something.
It's between silly point and point.
Yeah.
It's that region. So yep, Johnny is out and the lead is only 166.
Now suddenly India will be sniffing blood.
India, they've got to have the tails up now.
Yep,
Absolutely.
They will. So join us soon. We may have to do the innings first.
Yes.
Then the
Hopefully
ends.
we do.
Yep. So
Fingers
bye bye. Take care. See you.